Hey there, friends. My name's Matthew. I'm the C# artisan, and this is the 6th video in my series on threads. And today's topic is exception handling. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that proper handling of exceptions is always important. Well, with threads, it is doubly important because if you don't handle it right, you're going to have serious problems. It's not hard to do. This video won't be long, so let's dive into the code and handle some thread exceptions. So as with the other videos, I've set us up a little class called thread exceptions with a method called run a thread that throws. And this time, let's implement this thread proc first. So I'm actually going to create another function here, private static void do something, which expects 2 integers as its input, I and j. And it's going to log out the information we can put in the word and it's going to just do a little delay here for 1 second. And then if I equals j, I'm going to throw an exception. Oh man, something really bad just happened. I don't know. So this function is going to throw an exception if I equals j. So I'm going to say that our input object, we're going to expect it to be an integer. So we'll say int j equals int of obj. And then we'll say int I equals 1. And then while true, we're just going to do something. Passing in, we can do I++ and j. Fantastic. So as you can see, what this thread proc is really going to do is it is going to loop, and every second it's going to print a message. Sleep and print and sleep. And then if we pass in a certain number for basically the kill switch, when I equals j, it's going to blow up. So there we go, we have planted our time bomb, and now we just need to make it explode. So here in our main thread, we'll say thread t equals new thread, passing in our thread proc, which is called thread proc that throws. And then we can, let's let the user choose the number. So we could say console.writeLine. Please enter a number and press enter. And then string s, we'll just call it string input, equals console.readLine. And I'm not going to make this code very safe. We're just going to assume we put in a number. So int kill switch equals integer dot try parse input out. Sorry, I did it wrong. I did the try parse. You know, actually, let's just do int dot parse. That's simpler. If we put something bad in, well, that's my fault. Okay, so now we're going to, once we have our kill switch value, we'll say t dot start, passing in the kill switch value. So that'll kick the thread off. That is all there is to it. So I'm going to go ahead and build this solution. I'll show you that I've already wired up the program to call that. And because we're throwing exceptions, I don't want to run this in the IDE. I actually just want to run the compiled version of it. So on my other screen here, I can see concurrent demo.exe. This is what we just built. So this is going to run outside of Visual Studio. So here we go. Press enter to start. Please enter a number and press enter. So I think I'll enter the number 5. Are you ready? Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. And it's gone. So we got to the 5th loop, the exception was thrown, and our app crashed. Basically, it just tore down our app. So that is the lesson of this video, that if you have unhandled exceptions in worker threads, it is going to crash your app. It's just going to take it down. So you might think, okay, I'm going to be clever. I'm going to handle my unhandled exceptions at the app domain level. So how would you do that? So we can say app domain dot current domain dot unhandled exception, and we can create an unhandled exception handler here. And then maybe we can just write a message, right? Console.writeLine. Oops. And then we'll write this out. And you might think, well, you know, maybe the fact that I'm handling the unhandled exception will at least keep my app from crashing. So let's go ahead and build that. And I'll run it again from the actual compiled version. You ready? Press my number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. Now, if you look real quickly, it did log that to the console. If we run it here in Visual Studio, you can kind of see. So let's just give it the number 3, 1, 2, 3. And, oh, it actually took it down that way too. No, where's my console? There it is. All right, and you can actually see our exception handler ran, and we caught it, but it still kills the app. So basically, this app domain unhandled exception handler, it doesn't allow you to really stop the consequence of the exception. It just lets you maybe log it. But still, you should not have this happening. So the moral here is, the moral of the story is that in all of your thread procs, we haven't done it so far, but whenever you write a procedure, a named delegate procedure that is for a thread proc, you have to catch your exceptions. You should never, ever allow an exception to leak out of a thread proc. Now, here we could do something like this. And now, if we build this, and if we run it, let's give it the number 3, 2, 3, boom. Oops, oh man, something really bad just happened. I don't know. But our program keeps running. It doesn't take the program down. So that should be clear. You should always, always, always have an outer exception handler. Now, obviously, you may need to communicate back to the main thread that something went wrong, and go ahead and watch my video on thread data. I think that's number 3 in the series. And you would just add in some results and some details about whether it succeeded or failed, and if it failed, why. So that's how you need to communicate failure back to the main thread. And one thing I will note here is that this is very different than the behavior you get with tasks. If you create and run a task and that task throws, you can actually catch the exception here at the point that the that the thread was created. So, or that the task was created, sorry. So basically, tasks do some magic for you where they handle the exceptions that are down on the worker thread, and then they kind of marshal them back up to the main thread and represent them to you as exceptions that you can try and catch. So that is a major difference between threads and tasks. If you don't remember anything else from this video, put a try catch in your thread proc. Hey there, C# friends. Are you enjoying these videos and finding them helpful? I hope so. And if you are, please go ahead and like the video on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you.